Let's cross live to Matthew Smith on board. He's a family law attorney in private practice in Sacramento, California. He and his wife are confined to the cabin on this cruise liner. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Smith. So it's already afternoon in Japan. Tell us, how was your lunch? How's food?
Things are fine right now. We're getting, you might hear in the background, an announcement about some more of the interior passengers being let out on the decks to enjoy the fresh air and the sunshine. So things are going well.
Are you allowed to go on deck for some fresh air?
We actually don't need to because we were fortunate enough to book a cabin that has a balcony. So we are able to go out on our own balcony, and they're reserving the releases to the deck for people who either do not have access to fresh air at all, or those who are confined to the smaller balcony cabins. But in the larger cabins with balconies, we can enjoy the fresh air and sunshine whenever we want. So we're very fortunate.
Right. So what about regular checks? Are there any official personnel to check on your health condition every day? And how many times a day if there is such a check?
Right now, what they're doing is they're relying on the passengers who are confined to their cabins to self-check. They provided thermometers to each passenger and have asked us to check our temperatures several times a day, to contact the medical center if we detect a high temperature or start experiencing flu-like symptoms, and but no actual testing by the health officials at this point, unless you report to the medical center with self-reported conditions.
So are you saying that it's more of a voluntary action for passengers on board to report their health condition and body temperatures?
At this time, yes. When we first arrived in Yokohama, they did come through, the health officials came through and tested everyone's temperature, and that was where the initial batch of passengers who were screened for the virus came from. And we haven't had any additional official tests since then.
So if you don't mind me asking, are you worried at this particular moment?
At this time, my wife and I are not worried because we remain feeling well and healthy, and recognizing the incubation time for the virus. It's coming up to the point where, unless we had acquired it right before the quarantine, it's probably not likely that we have it. And in fact, we were not interacting too much with other passengers throughout the cruise. So we think there's a pretty good chance that we're not infected, and so we're not particularly worried about it.
Right. Take care and be strong. Best wishes to you too. Thank you very much for joining us. That was Mr. Matthew Smith on board Diamond Princess, which is now in quarantine in Japan's Yokohama City.